Hey guys, it's Chrissy here, and this is gonna be a really emotional video for me, but I feel obligated to do it. The last time you probably saw me on this bed with the bouncy laptop sitting on the bed with me, I was doing a co-authoring segment with JV, and she's been my pretty much my best friend and my closest friend for about 5.5 years now, since I started college. And in fact, she was just over here less than a week ago filming videos that I don't know when I'll post. But I have some words that you need to hear, so if you could do me the favor of waiting until the end of the video to hear everything I have to say, I'd really appreciate it. JV was the brightest ray of sunshine, and she touched so many people. And if you can't tell already by this point in the video, she's no longer with us. Sorry. All right, I'll get collected soon enough. But I'm not going into details because it's no one else's business but her family's and friends and everything. But she was gone way too soon. She was the happiest, most rambunctious pile of energy, and she made such a mark on everybody's life that she touched. And she worked with 2-year-olds that are probably trying to understand why she hasn't shown up to work the past 2 days to be with them. She's got an amazing husband who brightened up her life the second she started dating him. She has great friends like me and her friend Nay and all of her old friends that I've seen over the past 2 days posting their favorite memories, and they're all happy. In all of them, JV is happy and smiling in all the photos and all the stories, and she was so supportive. Like, I've talked to her almost every weeknight for a year now, because she had a long commute to and from work every night. She wanted someone to talk to, and I was always free. And it's kind of difficult now to not be receiving those texts that I mentioned in the co-authoring videos. Every time she got off work, it was heading home now, and I would call her, and I haven't gotten them for the past 2 days, and it hurts. But this post isn't about grieving, because to be honest, like, I posted my status update about what had happened, and I'm getting all these "I'm sorry for your losses" and stuff, and while that softens the blow a little bit, no amount of sorries is gonna bring her back, you know. And knowing Jessie, one of the biggest things she's ever done for me is she's done this frequently, is when things turned bad in my life, or things didn't, or I started getting depressed, she would always say the same thing to me: everything will be okay. You will get through this. It's not maybe. And anytime I said maybe I'll get through it, or I hope I get through it, she's like, no, you will get through it. It's a definite. And she was the strongest person I could have ever asked for as a friend. And so the reason I'm doing this post is not as a post of you guys watching me make ugly faces into the camera and sniffling and crying. That's not why I'm making this video. Jessie and I obviously were co-authoring a book, and this book was her pride and joy, and she would write for it occasionally, and I unfortunately haven't written much for it lately because I've been struggling with my own writing and stuff like that. And recently I've been doing my Chaos account stuff, and I would talk to her just like I do with all my other books and plots and stuff, and tell her things that wouldn't happen for 5 or 6 stories, and I would tell her backgrounds of the characters before I even wrote them. And but our book series was important to her, and she's not going to be alive to see it published. I'm going to make sure that it gets published, and that's what leads me to what message that I think we should all take from any type of grieving situation. Whether you've lost a sibling, or a child, or a parent, or a friend, life's too short, and you never know when the end is coming. You're not going to know. As difficult as it is to comprehend that someone so young and who had so much expected for her future, had to leave. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are probably wondering the same thing about their own relatives or their own friends that have been in the same situation as me. And the message I think from this is, don't wait. If there's something you want to do with your life, you want to travel, or you want to write that book, or paint that picture, or get that doctorate, don't wait. You don't know when the end is coming. You don't know how it's coming. You don't know if you will ever get the chance to do what you want. For example, my mentor, he had a very close friend of his a few years back who died from cancer within like a month of being diagnosed or less. And it was hard on everybody that knew him. He told me last night that this friend had talked about, publishing these stories or writing these things, and he says, you know what, I'll get to it eventually. And when he finally decided that he wanted to go through with it, he got diagnosed with cancer and died. And there's plenty of stories out there where people are like, oh, I'm gonna write a book someday, and it's like, why not now? It's like, oh, I'll get to it eventually. Don't. I'm speaking just from someone who's grieving right now. Jessie wouldn't want me to wait. She wouldn't want me to stop what I'm doing and just... She would want the books published. She would have wanted to be there to see the covers, to see the finale. We've already planned out the whole series. We just had to write it. And, Jessie meant the world to me and to everybody she touched. And she's left behind a husband and sisters and parents that are going to have to bury their child. And I know Jessie would want everybody to take from this that don't wait. Just don't. If you feel like you can't do it right now, force yourself to. Because you or somebody who is related to you might regret it one day. You don't want to wait. If you wait, it may be the biggest mistake you ever make. So I am continuing with my Chaos Account series because the night she died, I was planning on reading the opening scene to my third story, which the point of view from that third story is one of her favorite characters from the series. And keep in mind, I've only published one of the stories. I've told her everything that I know so far about this series, and this character was her favorite. But I'm going to continue writing stories. I'm going to continue publishing books, and I'm going to continue trying to live life to the fullest, to be there for people when they need me, to make sure I say I love you to everybody I care about, to not waste any moments, to not ditch people when I have plans, because you never know when you're going to see them again. So for any aspect, whether it's hanging out with an old friend that you haven't seen in years, or finally watching that movie that you've been dying to rip open the DVD case to for years, or starting a YouTube channel, or writing books, just don't wait. Don't wait. Below, I'm going to put the links to all me and JV's videos. Only 2 of them are loaded right now. I probably will have 3 or 4 more, and I'll add the links below once they're on YouTube. But I'm also putting down I mentioned my mentor's friend who passed away. They have an anthology that a bunch of his friends published, and the proceeds go to his family. So you can click on that link and support them as well. I'm hoping I'll have more news on the Chaos Accounts, and I've got some ways that I want to incorporate Jessie's life into my stories. And I'm gonna, I don't... Just don't wait. For anybody who has ever lost a loved one, you understand what I'm saying. Even if you get to be an old age and you might die in your sleep, there's going to be stuff that you regret not doing. You don't want that. You don't want any regrets in this life. So if there's something that you want to do, don't do it. Don't just say, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next month, I'll do it next year. No. Don't do that to yourself. Do it. Don't wait. And JV, like I said, I'm not trying to get super religious here, but you're up in heaven, and I know you're watching over your husband and your family, and hopefully me too. And I'm still gonna do the stuff that we were gonna do together. I'm still gonna write those books. I'm still gonna do that blog, and I'm still gonna be doing everything because look at the ugly face. Because you would want me to. You wouldn't want people to grieve for so long that it messes up their personal life, and I know you were a big part of my writing career for 5.5 years, and I'm gonna miss you, girly. So to everybody out there, just don't wait. Please. Ignore the ugly faces, please. My links will be down below again, as in all my other videos. My links to my Chaos Account stories, to my Patreon, which I'm going to be dedicating my 3rd story to Jessie, and I've got a couple ideas underway on how to incorporate Jessie's life into that story and to all the others that I will continue to write, because my uncle is the one that inspired me to be a writer. Jessie's the one that inspired me to continue being a writer, and I'm not going to let either of them down. So, as always, guys, I know Jessie thinks this is corny, but, keep faith, guys, and, I'll see you around.